one boss each, so we aren't going to see multiple fire chickens or anything like that.
Call it a blessing or a curse, whichever way you want to call that.
Exactly. Yeah, we won't find multiple fire chickens, but we're also not going to see multiple leaders and multiple whelps.
Yep. All right, so we do have the racers getting off there. Sorry about that, guys.
Alrighty, underway.
And it does look like we have some custom sprites as well tonight, too, because I saw our boy Kane and Yang there, so it looks like we also have a bit of Final Fantasy IV flavoring going on.
Yes, there's quite a bit there's different sprites, which are kind of hard to get used to, and the harder names, which becomes difficult later on in the race.
Yeah, it definitely kind of does a little bit of extra mental gymnastics to try to get you to remember everything. You're like, okay, what character is this? And then with random unique abilities, you're like, oh, and what abilities does he have again?
All right, we've got Zelfer popping right in. Actually, both going into Narsh and checking Narsh out.
Yep, looks like everybody's pretty much doing the... I mean, if you know one of your only 3 checks is going to be the Lone Wolf, you might as well go in, do kind of like what we're seeing Von Mahler in here, grabbing the beginner's house. We see Zelfer going straight away to the shops and to the Lone Wolf check. There's no reason not to do that check while you're here, because you know you're going to have to do it. It's, like we said, one of the only 3 that you do have, so...
And it's useful, at least when you're in World of Balance, because if you head up to go and check it, you can also see if Umaro is going to be a character or not, which is the most important thing in the seed right now.
Yes, for sure. I mean, we can technically get a character out of the Lone Wolf or Mog's check. I call it the Lone Wolf check because that's technically what we call it, but it is Mog's check, and it's his only one. So you can technically get a character out of that, but... exactly like you said, Radio. You get to see an extra. You get a peek of what's waiting up there to decide. Okay, am I gonna have to go do Tri-Talk in my near future?
Keith is mentioning the Coliseum in chat. That is somewhere I went, and I was very happy with what I found there.
Yeah, I've noticed more and more people are starting to add in like a quick dip into the Coliseum. It'll be interesting to see if that really starts taking off more and more amongst runners, or if it's always going to be kind of a, I don't want to say a French strategy, but kind of like a, hey, I only really do this on rare occasions kind of thing.
It's definitely a gamble. I went when I had just excess consumables like antidotes and tonics and stuff.
Yeah, that does seem to be, I mean, nobody I think is ever going to really risk anything like big. It's just going to be like, let me see what an antidote gets me. Let me see what a potion gets me. What does a remedy get me? Just hoping for one of those big hits, but you're not going to be like, I wonder what the Stratos sword gives me, because it's just like, it's just too much of a risk to put it up like that.
You don't want to lose it for a green cherry.
Exactly. Yeah, especially with the randomizer. It would be one thing in the vanilla game where you turn in that Ragnarok and you get an Illumina, but in this randomizer, nah, you ain't making that gamble. But we see just kind of the standard shopping. It looks like Zelfer, I believe, yep, is in the returner's hideout, getting all those chests done there. Von Marlin's going to do the same thing. A pretty standard opener we now see of kind of doing this initial shopping run, just to get all those chests and get all the goodies in the different shops that we can find.
Especially when you have the shuffled plus 20% random, you never know what you're going to find.
Yes, yeah. The more random those chests, the better, for that exact reason. Tier chest, it's like, okay, well, there we found an Excalibur for Zelfer. So, I mean, it's not it's not Illumina, it's not Ragnarok, but this early, Excalibur is still a very good find.
I mean, it's a top 10 find when you're this early in the seed.
Oh, for sure. I would still say it's probably a top 10 weapon even into the seed as well. It boosts up magic stat fairly well, if I remember correctly. So I'm never going to say, boo, I found an Excalibur, but... looks like nothing.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I'll take it over a Skyrender.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Doesn't look like anything too impressive so far in any of the shops. Does find an enhancer. It looks like he's thinking about that. But with... good
for a magic user. It's just unfortunate we don't really have many of those in the seed.
Yeah, good for magic users, bad for a magicless seed, basically. But we do have natural magic, I believe, turned on, though, correct? So there is that.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And shields, super balls, and rods are all found in shops. So if people find some elemental shields, it's another way to learn some magic.
Yeah, and super balls. I mean, I'm a big proponent of super balls. Sometimes you can find them even cheaper than rods and everything. They do non-elemental damage, so if you run into that Tri-Talk early and you haven't found a good rod, you're safe with them. 60,000 for the Man in the Woods at Zen, and Zelfer is just going to say, not right now, I'll be back later. Probably going to go check him in the World of Ruin.
I'll be back in a different world. I'm not spending
Yeah.
60k on what he has.
Yeah. Wait for the world to blow up, then I'll come back around for you.
Prices will drop.
Yeah, I mean, it's a global calamity. I mean, prices are going to drop when the island and everything is split into multiple different pieces now. Looks like still just doing all the checks. Gonna be going to every single relic shop, looking for those good, the relics that we're looking for. Normally I would say like gem box, but you know, not gonna be too much magic in here. So realistically, you're looking for offerings and Genji gloves probably in this type of seed.
Yeah, those are about the 2 S tier relics that we're going to be looking for here.
Yeah, I would say those are S tier. I would say your other S tier ones are gem box, economizer, but no magic, so woo.
I mean, you never know. You might find a natural magic user that's got those Fire 3, Bolt 3 abilities, which are very nice. And if you have X magic with Bolt 3 or Fire 3, you're doing good.
Yeah, I would say, that would be the one time. I guess it's going to be a lot harder to find somebody who has that in this seed. But you're exactly right. If you find those, they are great pickups. Another Excalibur for Zelfer. He's finding, for being a legendary hidden sword, they're just falling all over the place. You're finding them in chests. You're finding them in some item guy's extra shop. Like, apparently it's not that big of a thing to find Excalibur, guys.
They kind of come out of the woodwork in this seed.
Yeah. You eventually get to your point where you're opening a chest, and you're like, another Excalibur? But meanwhile, the person who's the new adventure right behind you is like, what do you mean another Excalibur, man?
I would have taken that.
Yeah. You just like throw it into the bargain bin again. You're like, I don't even need it. The Holy Sword Excalibur. Pfft.
Ooh, good pickup for Zelfer. I just saw him, he bought a Blizzard Orb, which is very helpful depending on how he kind of runs out the seed.
Yep, it definitely makes, I mean, if you can find the 2 for Umaru, if you can find him I did forget to check, so who is Umaru? And I'm assuming Mog is Kane, because Mog's the natural kind of spear user, so Umaru is Yang?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, if you can get the Rage Ring and Blizzard Orb for Umaru, he puts out very good damage in the beginning.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of impartial as far as like whether or not I really like Umaru or whatnot, but if I can find a Rage Ring and a Blizzard Orb, like he can really toss out some damage.
Yeah, see, I still have a soft spot in my heart for Gao. One day I'll find a seed where he really has some good rages or good abilities, but yeah, Umaru's another one who just doesn't get as much love. Yang does do his bicycle kick when throwing himself. I think the funniest stuff I've ever seen is when Yang does the around the world kick on Prix Enterprise, when he's on the wrong side and he like kicks all the way around the world. That's fun.
See, this is actually my first Final Fantasy randomizer, so I've never played Free Enterprise.
Oh, Free Enterprise is kind of like the original I'm not sure if Final Fantasy 1 randomizer came out first. But Free Enterprise is probably one of the biggest communities out there, along with Worlds Collide. There's so many good randomizers out there now. While we're going through the beginning of the shopping phase, I do want to give a shout out. So here on Randomania on Sunday, there is going to be the start of the Chrono Trigger Jets of Time weekly race. So we'll finally start getting to see some Jets of Time randomizer racing live on stream. And then, of course, there's the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer community that is extremely big. If you're into kind of the NES era of Final Fantasy, and there is the Final Fantasy 5 Career Day scene that's probably the smallest of them, just because 5 never came over to the US, but it's another great randomizer. So there's a randomizer for pretty much every Final Fantasy game you've probably enjoyed as a kid.
I think I even heard somebody found a Mystic Quest randomizer, which is shocking to me.
It is to me too. It's such a simplistic game, but there's something just kind of charming about it. So I can't be too angry about Mystic Quest having a randomizer. It's one of the games I actually do want to play. It's on my list of like, I want to get a Mystic Quest cart and play it sometime, just to see how much really watered down it is.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VI and Mystic Quest were the two Final Fantasies I had growing up.
Two solid. I would say. I guess I've not played Mystic Quest. I mean, a lot of people are like kind of mixed on Mystic Quest, but 6 is a great pickup. It's one of those where it's like, man, it is. I still think 6 is probably by far the best Final Fantasy game that's ever been made.
I would agree.
I was gonna say people can fight me and argue with it all day long. I know people have an attachment to 4, because for a lot of people, 4 was probably the first one they ever played. But 6 just. The story was so good. Kefka, I think, is by far one of the best bosses they've ever had in a game. He's so different than the stereotypical like Seth. I'm the edgy bad guy kind of feel. So.
Well, and in vanilla, it's very rare to have an antagonist who actually wins.
Yes, and goes batshit insane, basically. Many years ago, Game Boy Fan was saying they actually had the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest races on Randomania, so. But, yeah, I have a feeling Mystic Quest randomizer is probably very similar to, like, Final Fantasy 1 randomizer with even more RNG added into it. Which might be something I'll have to look into.
Still doing some shopping. I know Zelfer's in a World of Ruin Zen right now. I don't think Von Marlin has made his way into the World of Ruin yet.
Do we know if he has checked the Man in the Woods price just yet? Or it looks like he probably did already.
He did. It was about 30,000 if I saw that correctly.
Okay. Yeah, so this is like I said earlier, still pretty standard. About the first 15 minutes-ish of a run is mostly going to be people checking all the different shops, all the different free chests they can find, things like that. So nobody's doing any deviation from the norm just yet.
I don't know. We've got Von Marlin who just stepped into World of Balance Miranda.
Okay, so that is a little bit of a as far as like shopping, yeah, definitely not a lot of people go to Miranda too often. Magus
I've heard good things. There's a Paladin shield for sale in Miranda.
Ah, that's a big find. And yeah, Miranda is not a place, and an Air Lancet, which is not a bad weapon. Oh, he has that. He's trying to sell it for it. That is a big find, and yeah, sometimes going to those cities that you normally don't pay off.
I'm trying to make sure I'm looking right now whether I don't believe Ultima is on for this seed.
Let me double check as well, because that is kind of a big. If it's a no magic seed, but then you can get Ultima from the shield, it's like, well,
it says no Ultima false on the flags.
So Ultima is available then through the Paladin shield. So definitely pick up that Paladin shield and ride that to victory.
Oof, that's something I wish I found.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would not have checked Miranda. That is a unique town to go to, because I don't believe there is any chests there.
There's two chests. There's one on the left and there's one on the bottom right, but there's no item shop and there's no relic shop.
Okay, so that's kind of probably what puts it a little bit lower on the tier of places I'm going to go check. Let's see where everybody is off to this time. So Maru does have the Rage Ring Blizzard Orb, so he is an angry Yeti. And either Zelfer forgot to put on a Moogle Charm or is choosing to take some extra fights.
Just based on his movement there, it looked like he was intentionally trying to get into a fight there.
We got Von Marlin going to the Coliseum. I didn't see what he offered up, but let's see if he finds anything.
He could find some good things here. I found one thing that I was very happy with.
And I mean, he's got Umaru. I don't know if his Umaru has the Rage Ring and Blizzard Orb, but he should be just fine. Equipable Umaru does look like it's on, of course, because he's got the. Oh, that could be bad though. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what I saw. He gets the goggles.
Maybe see what those turn into.
How far down the rabbit hole do you go?
See, that's the thing. It's totally a gamble. Like, I felt that going into it when I was doing my seed. I'm like, oh, I just want to do just one more. Just one.
Yeah. That addiction comes in. You're like, come on. One more time. And it looks like Zelfer's going to go do Coliseum as well.
Alrighty.
looks like this
I
is
know.
possibly becoming a norm now.
Well, I did watch a couple of Zelfers practice seeds earlier this week, and he did kind of route this in.
Yeah. I think Zelfer did it last week as well. I think he's definitely kind of been leading that charge onto using, just doing some quick fights in the Coliseum, see what you get.
I'm curious if anyone has any tonics in their inventory.
You'd have to find it from a chest, because realistically you're not going to buy tonics, I don't think.
I did because I knew I was coming here, and I was curious what I was going to, what they were going to be.
Oh, okay. So you came in, so you bought a bunch of small random things with that in mind then?
Yeah, so, I mean, basically what I've been doing is anytime that I see something super cheap in shop, consumables, antidotes, or softs, or eye drops, or anything, I'll buy 5 or 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I don't even end up going to the Coliseum, but that's just kind of my plan going into it.
Yeah. And stuff with like eye drops and green cherries like that, if you get them really cheap, they're always good to have just in case of an emergency. I think we've all been in that fight where suddenly you get blind. And you're like, especially when you get to the final Kefka fight, we're like, I really wish I had a green cherry or a light screen or an antidote right now. But looks like they're both making their way. I think Zelfer's going to be catching up a little bit on Von Marlin just because I think his Maru probably is a little bit stronger with the Rage Ring. Yeah, he's dropping those scrappers in one hit.
Now, does the Rage Ring make it so that Umaru does his tackle ability while he's by himself more often? Because I know it typically throws another player, but I don't know if it makes the tackle happen more often.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know actually. I'd have to go in and take a look at it.
That makes me wonder just how useful the Rage Ring is when you're by yourself on this.
I think it does still give us
maybe a possible upgrade in the damage, maybe.
Sorry about that. Somebody outside my window just decided that their Harley needs to be revved to full maximum noise. So.
No worries.
But
oh, it is. Bro, this is elemental nullification. Nice.
That's a pretty one. Good one to find. There's another Dante, but drops Yang in one hit. That's not what you want to see there. I wonder if Zelfer is actively tracking this as well. Like, okay, this got me this got me this.
Oh, he's got 5 tonics. I can't wait.
Now we get to see what this mystery item is.
It helps so much for my seed. I was very happy to find these. You'll see eventually. I'm not going to tell you.
Alright, so I didn't see what does he get out of it.
But he hasn't gotten to the tonics.
Oh, the tonics.
Yet,
okay,
but...
you just saw they had it in his inventory. Okay.
Yeah, I just saw that he has 5 of them, so he must. I imagine he picked them up for this reason alone.
It looks like Von Marlin's now going to South Figaro.
Yeah, he kind of dipped out of the Coliseum. Might be just trying to go and find some stuff. Experience eggs for tonics.
That is pretty big.
Especially in a progression times 2 seed, it is very helpful.
Yeah, that's gonna outspeed you or like outlevel you way outside of the progression that you're gonna ever be. So realistically, once you get 2 to 3 experience eggs, you're not gonna need to be ever doing much grinding, and you should not have too much trouble with the rest of the seed.
No, I got 4 of them, and I was like in my level 50s and 60s in Final Kefka.
Yeah, realistically, I mean, once you've hit 50s going into Kefka, you should not have too much of a problem.
So Von Marlin doing some more shopping. I'm curious. I'm curious to see where people go for their first check. If they're going to, because I don't think either of them have checked the Amaro hole in the mines.
No.
So I'm curious if they're going to go World of Ruin, which I don't believe is the better choice.
I think logically, ideally what you should do if you're in Narsh is just run up to go check the Umaru's cave check that way through the peep window, but then also just go see what's at Kefka at Narsh as well to see if like, okay, am I going to need to do Kefka at Narsh? Because if you know it's not Kefka at Narsh, then you know it has to be Umaru. Because I think maybe not everybody's done their Lone Wolf check. Maybe that's... I don't think they've gone up and done Lone Wolf yet. I think they triggered it, but I don't think they've actually gone up and started it, though.
Yeah, neither of our runners have tonight so far.
Okay. So then, yeah, it's perfectly ideal to kind of do this early shopping. Go up, see who's at Kefka at Narsh. If it's nothing that you need, you're just going to go finish up your Lone Wolf check because you're up there anyway to see if that has what you need. If neither of those has it, then you know, okay, I'm going to have to go do Umaru's check through Tritalk. I missed it. Who sold the Blizzard Orb, Revlin? I really hope Von Marlin didn't sell his Blizzard Orb, because that's a shame, because that puts out a lot of damage. Oh, that's not good. That puts out... Storm puts out so much AoE damage.
Especially if you can run up against some fire enemies.
Mm-hmm. Or just anybody really in general where you know you're going to face. I did not see who was at the Umaru cave.
I believe there is nothing there.
Okay. Looks like Zelfer's probably going to go do the exact... He's going to heal up and has the exact same idea as well. Although he's finishing up his shopping here. So we'll get to see here who's at Kefka at Narsh, and we'll also get to see who is at Lone Wolf.
If you can remember what the sprite is for certain characters.
Well, you know it's a character at least, though.
True.
Unless you... I don't know what the item sprites are. That looks...
Right,
I'm assuming that is a item.
Yeah, that's a soldier.
Okay. Yeah, the palette changes everything, make things trickier. Like, who is this? Okay, so that's just gonna be an item
on Lone Wolf. On actual Lone Wolf, but we'll see what the actual reward here is. The Pearl Lance.
That's a pretty solid pickup for your Mog. Or Kane in this case.
Especially if you get some Dragoon strats going.
Mm-hmm. You're looking for that boot, and you're looking for that horn now. Yeah, I was gonna say, I would not be surprised if Zelfer does. Kefka Narshwise here. Yep.
I did just to try it, even though you're only going in with one character. This is like the worst situation to do Kefka at Narsh. It's kind of nice to at least know what the boss is up here.
Yeah, I mean, he saved at the right spot, so if it's something he doesn't want to see, is that Galuf? No. Who is that? That's the Kefka sprite tonight.
Let me look.
Is that X-Death guy? Chat.
Is that X-Death
or is that Golbez? Okay, it is Golbez. X-Death and Golbez look oddly familiar. X-Death is the main boss of Final Fantasy V, for all of you who have not played. Oh, it's the Final Fantasy IV preset? Well, that makes things simple then. I need to get Final Fantasy V preset done. And
I need to play other Final Fantasies.
What was that?
I said I just need to play the other older Final Fantasies.
So Flame Eater is the boss here, which now you actually kind of wish you had your Umaru here, because the Storm ability would have just wiped out all of this.
Right? Yeah, both of our runners are taking Mog in.
I'm surprised to see... Yeah, so you're going to see Zelfer just switch out to his Umaru right away. That makes perfect sense. Von Marlin, I'm surprised, took the extra fight, especially because he doesn't have those experience eggs. He probably does still want that experience. He's going to use his Revivifies to take down the Croccuses. They don't give me experience, I don't think. So maybe he might have just went a little bit too early. Maybe that's what it was.
It's never a bad idea, especially if you're having to do Kefka at Narsh with two characters, to maybe take a fight or two. Mm-hmm. Get that extra XP to get you through the boss.
Yep. I'm honestly surprised that Zelfer is not going to, but I think Zelfer probably said to himself, okay, I've got experience eggs. I don't need to take some extra fights here. I'm going to get so much experience off these bosses, I should be good.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't if I was him right now.
Yep, and here you're going to see him taking his Umaru, who will make quick work of that Flame Eater.
See how Mog does against Flame Eater over on Von Marlin's side.
I don't imagine he'll have any issues. I don't know if he has the Excalibur. I don't know if he has the Pearl Lance. I equipped the Pearl Lance. He shouldn't have any issues as long as they don't cast Exploder. That could cause some issues. And it looks like he's going to do the exact same thing that Zelfer did. But he doesn't have the Blizzard Orb, so it might take him a little bit longer.
This is going to be intriguing. Yeah, you can't use Pearl against Flame Eater. It's only Ice, I believe.
Yep. So there you can see exactly right there. Umaru casts Storm. And wow, he's just going to leave out of the check.
Von Marlin's scrapping it.
He's not. I mean, I think he's going to get a rude awakening when he realizes he has to do it.
Yeah, this is the only spot where a character is currently.
And a double Storm off of Zelfer. That's, yeah, that Flame Eater don't got much time left in this world.
No, that's exactly what you want to see happen.
Yeah, the more storms, the better. Yeah, you actually don't want him to physically attack here. Hopefully he'll just... Yep, there's another storm. He's making quick work out of it.
That should just about do it.
Oh, I'm surprised.
But Storm does split damage. Well,
Yeah.
because he was doing 800 damage when it was by itself, but with 2, it was only doing 400 each, so...
Yeah, here you can see, though, yeah, look, exactly... like Ravlin said, none of the weapons. He's got the Excalibur equipped to Umaru, but he can't deal any damage with it because for some reason, Flame Eater absorbs Holy, logic.
I think it's on the same logic as like Tritok, where you have to use the certain elemental weakness and only the elemental weakness in order to do damage.
I mean, yeah, game does like game logic sense. Like, yeah, that's kind of the reason why they did. They want you to use elemental stuff to kill it. But it's like lore-wise, you're like, so fire, like, absorbs holy. I'm confused. I've never understood some like the elementals in this game. So like Ravlin Bay is saying, Flame Eater nulls everything but ice and water. So like ice, I understand because we have ice 1, ice 2, ice 3, ice rods and all of this. But how many water spells are there? Like you have what? Water Skiing,
Aqua Rake.
Aqua Rake, and I think that's like the only 2 I think I can name off the top of my head. So Realm is Rydia. That makes perfect sense. If he finds Clean Sweep, okay. But yeah, most of these are like Esper spells or
Lores.
There's not too many water magic or like natural magic stuff. It'll be interesting to see if Zelfer did pick up find that Paladin shields. I don't think he did, because that would have been perfect for this Rydia right here, or Rydia Realm, to just really get that Ultima going.
Yeah, he is not stopped by Miranda, which I wouldn't blame him if he didn't. I didn't myself.
Yeah, I don't expect him to.
I'm very interested to see where if Von Marlin's just going to continue doing some shopping, or if they're going to try and actually hit the World of Ruin Narsh check.
Yeah, go through Tritok and go through Umaru. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Zelfer... I mean, Zelfer's going to know right away. Oh, maybe Zelfer won't. Because he's got the realm, so he's going to know, hey, I'm going to go do realms checks before I go do the possibility of Umaru having a character.
Absolutely. I always pop my head into the Esper Mountain, at least to see what that is, and if at least when I did this race, if that's not a character, then pop on over to Jydor.
And realistically, I mean, Zelfer already has his 3 characters. He does not need to find any more characters. He does, because one of 3. Yeah. You're right. He needs to either find Locke, Cyan, or Edgar.
And one of the things I was going into, at least when I was practicing this seed, was whether or not I want to find 2 of them to avoid the Fanatic's Tower Dragon, because there's no magic in this seed.
Avoid the Fanatic's Tower Dragon, or avoid the... Oh yeah, that one makes sense. There's no magic, so you'd want to avoid doing that one. Because technically,
unless you find
it's
rods.
Not locked, but... The other thing is that you might also want to find one of the others too, if possible, like if it doesn't have too much time, to take out one less Kefka Tower Dragon, because remember, those dragons are going to be scaled. So the earlier you can take on some of the dragons, the better as well.
Absolutely, especially if you want to get that experience on your actual main 4 party members instead of maybe 1 or 2 of your 4 party members.
Yep, yeah, that's kind of one of the big things about Kefka's Tower Dragons. It's like, well, it's only going to go to 1, maybe 2 people. Zelfer, or Von Marlin doing the kind of some really off the beaten path checks here. I'm not even sure where he is.
He's in Collingen.
Oh, Collingen, okay.
So, and I'm the kind of person, I mean, it's a rando, right? And if I check things that no one else checks, I'll have an advantage. So I'm always checking kind of those out of the way chests as well.
And there is some risk reward to that, just because it's like, okay, so if I spend an extra like 5 to 10 minutes doing all these out of the way checks, and one of those happens to be something like an Illumina, does the Illumina make up for like the 5 to 10 minutes I spent doing all of these like random out of the way checks? And there's still less.
I would say it would be beneficial if you do it early in the seed. The earlier that you kind of take those risks, I say, may work better in your favor. Ooh, Haydn.
Yep. Hide and fight, is the undead flag on or not? I know no undead is true. Okay, so they do have to take care of Haydn the normal way. We can't just revivify him or Phoenix down him. But he does.
Luckily, there's been a lot of. We've also got some Pearl Lances and everything, things that work really well against Haydn. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Yep, and you can see Zelfer makes quick work of him. But yeah, back to the chest fight. I mean, that's kind of like been the thing I always thought about too. It's like, okay, how out of the way do I go for chest? Do I primarily just focus on the dense checks? He's even gonna go to Vector to look and see what's in there. I'm really surprised about this. Like, it makes sense for Zelfer to do that because he has Celeste. So it makes sense for him to go to Vector possibly later on. But going to Vector to find shops there, that's really stretching it.
I think he's really searching, trying to find something that'll help break open that, I imagine, that Flame Eater fight.
Yeah. And I think he's gonna... I don't know if he realized he sold the Blizzard Orb, and it just ended up biting him in the butt, and it's gonna be really hard to recover from that, or if he didn't think he would need it and needed the gold.
Luckily, there are ice rods here in Vector, which will help him get through that Flame Eater fight with no issues.
Yep. So although this time now, then you're gonna actually take obviously you have to then take Mog instead of Umaru to take care of it, but ice rods are a pretty quick way to get rid of Flame Eater, and he's just running right back there.
We're going to see the South Figaro check here from Zelfer.
Yep. I don't think he double did. This is his first go through this, so he does not double dip this. So he's going to go and get all these chests that are in here. I'm one of those people that generally tends to end up double dipping this. Like, I'll do it in the very beginning before even having Celeste, and then I'll come back around for it. So always interesting. Finds Edward, who I'm guessing is...
Gao with shock.
Really? We're going to make a Gao Edward? Come on. Edward should have been Edgar, because they're both princes. Don't make my boy Gao one of the worst characters in Free Enterprise. He does have shock,
which is an awesome ability. I was really happy to see that wasn't turned off.
Yeah.
But as far as the double dipping with South Figaro, the way that I typically do it, and I always classify myself, I'm more of a casual runner of Worlds Collide, not so much a racer. So I may do things that aren't typical. But I'll come in, I'll do the treasure check in World of Balance, and then once I get Celeste, I'll come back in World of Ruin and get all of the treasures that are in the town, and then pick up her reward.
Yeah, I mean, I'll generally do the same. I consider myself a racer, but I'm not kind of one of the competitive, like, top-tier racers. So I normally race now, just to still stay in the community, have fun and everything, but also kind of know what's going on with, for commentating reasons, things like that. But Boo, I will not have any of your slander against Gao. Gao is best boy.
I'm going to stay out of this.
Meanwhile, we've got, Von Marlin is going to go back. He's going to take care of... He's still taking those fights on, so I guess he does want that extra experience. I think those give experience. I'm not sure.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I guess we'll find out here in a second.
More hot takes?
Turn this into the hot takes broadcast. Von Marlin's going to Serpent's Trench, it looks like.
Not bad. He's got those experience eggs, so this is going to really kind of bump him over anything else he's really going to find.
Yeah, he's going to be so far ahead at this point. Ooh, that's not exactly what you want to see. Can't run away either. So the Wervin and the Ralph are not the scary thing about that fight. It's the chicken lips, which is the weirdest thing in my world. I love the translation on that. Because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like cockatrice or something. But they cast Quake. And a Quake right now will one-shot that poor Kane with no chance of surviving.
Now, what does the Paladin Shield do against Quake?
Does it absorb it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, not off the top of my head. I would assume it does, because it's, yeah, pretty sure Nullify, yeah. It is Earth Elemental, and Paladin Shield does absorb everything. What is that Zelfer has found?
That is I believe it's the Ghost
Sprite.
Sprite.
Oh, the Ghost, I'm guessing it's the tiny Sprite for, like, when you get shrunked. Shrank? I'm assuming it's shrank, because I don't think you get shrunked. But he is still looking, so I missed who he picked up. Okay, so he's not picked up anybody new, so he is still looking for one of the dragon characters. The tiny Sprite from FF4, thank you. Thank you for that. That's what I thought, like, I was like, that Sprite looks very familiar, where do I know it from?
Von Marlin's going to make quick work of this Flame Eater.
Yeah, those ice rods are going to hit like a truck. Yep, there he goes. So now hopefully he will be making up some time now that he's going to pick up that realm. It'll be interesting to see if he still goes and does Umaru Tritalk, or if he's going to go do realms checks first.
I think it just depends on whether or not they looked into to see what was poking out with Amaro there.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you see nothing, you know that it's not a character.
Yeah, and then there's no reason to even go do Tritalk, because you know Tritalk can't be a character.
Unless, at least when I was running this seed, I was looking for my calmness protection, so I did run through Tritalk and Amaro just to see if I could find something good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree with you there. You'll get the experience out of it. There is, even though no espers are required, we are still looking out for some very specific espers. You would love to find your Fenrir, your Golem. In a pinch, you would take... Now he is using Gao, Zelfer, just because that shock does so much damage.
We have rename cards coming out on Von Marlin's side. I see they're
Von
doing...
Marlin's naming it after people.
Right? After people in the community, including yourself.
I appreciate
and our tracker, Stealing Cat.
Yeah, again, let me actually, for anybody who isn't interested in joining our community, I've put in the chat the link to our Discord, where we have a lot of great people who are always willing to help. A lot of amazing guides that kind of teach you how to run this game, to both casually and kind of in a race setting. We have our excellent, one of our amazing mods, Ravlin Bay, who does kind of his Mog Seeds of the Week, where basically it's kind of or Moogle's first seed, I should say, is what it's actually called, where it's kind of beginner-friendly seeds, kind of where he goes through his thought process on how he approaches the seeds, things like that are really good for dipping your toe in. And if you just want to dive in, the link is there as well. It is ff6wc.com. And then give our racers and our restream team a follow. Everybody in here is amazing people. It looks like the bot goofed up a little bit with the links, but there is everybody's Twitch channels. I have not seen it do that before. That is a new one.
Von Marlin's coming in, probably going to pick up his Celeste here.
Yep. Yeah, there he's going to see the Celeste, and he's going to be like, alright, yep, we're going to do this. Meanwhile, Zelfer is probably beating up any poor sea creature he finds along the way up the Serpent's Trench. Yep,
well, we are kind of lucky in that a lot of the battles are the fixed encounters are random, so we don't have any bosses in the fixed encounters.
Yes, this time we do not have random plus 20% boss chance. There you're just seeing the power of that shock. Even like Gao. So Gao has item shock, and I forget what his other mobility was. But shock is just such a good... It's non-elemental. I believe it's piercing as well. I'm trying to remember. It's just such a good one that normally you would get off of General Leo, I believe.
Yeah, it's General Leo's special ability.
Yeah, but in this randomizer, now it can be anybody's special ability.
Ooh, we've got Hayden. He's bringing back Vamp here, and luckily they were able to take out Hyde Knight before there were any issues with that.
Yes, the Discord is full of amazing people who are more than willing to answer any question you have about the randomizer. Yeah, I've never had anybody say anything like, oh, I couldn't get any help on this. There's people almost tripping over themselves to help newer people out as well.
I mean, I joined over the summer was when I joined the Discord, and everyone has just been super welcoming. Even though, like I said, I'm not really a racer. I was never intending to race, but then the KGP happened, and I kind of wanted to participate and just kind of see where I stood. But everyone is super, super nice.
And Radio Guy, if I remember correctly, I forgot where you were at the standings, but I thought you were doing pretty well, if I remember right.
No.
Well,
I want to say I was right around 20th until I had to forfeit a couple weeks ago when I was restreamed. So I was being restreamed and wiped in the final Kefka battle, and then we hit the 3-hour mark, but then I ended up forfeiting. So now I'm shooting to hopefully get back in the top 20 by the end of this next week.
Well, don't feel too bad. I've been at the bottom for a while now too. Unfortunately, I haven't had as much time to commit to practicing as everything as I would like. But that was the amazing thing about this this Grand Prix, is that even if you're not kind of one of the really competitive runners or one of the top runners like Zelfer, it was a great way to just kind of see where you stood, get in. There was nobody got kicked out basically. It was you. Hey, even if you got last every single week, you got to participate in all 8 weeks of the Grand Prix, trying different flag sets every time, see different kind of races. Kind of, hey, I really like this type of seed. I really don't like this type of seed. So it's been really great in that of getting more people exposed to kind of like even just asynchronous racing, which was what most of this is outside of the people that offer to be restreamed so everybody could watch. So yeah, it's been really amazing. The first Grand Prix we had, or it wasn't even the Grand Prix at that time, it was just the Battle Royale. We started off with like 20, maybe 25 people. This time I believe we were at like 45 people, so it was amazing how fast it grew as well.
We got Zelf for popping in, checking the Opera House.
Yep, probably taking some more fixed encounters too. I mean, fixed encounters with those EXP eggs, you're gonna really get going in this seed.
Typically, you would look to avoid those fixed encounters, but yeah, once you have the experience eggs on, you're bring them at me.
Yeah, I mean, here you're gonna just see Shock taking quick work of these mandrakes. I mean, Zelfer's in such a good spot where he's gonna be getting so much experience with those eggs and everything going down. Yeah, I normally try to avoid these fights too, just because it's my always luck where I end up getting the veteran fight that takes absolutely forever, super early in the game. So, but yep, he's just gonna keep using Shock over and over again. Should make quick work of everything. Meanwhile, over on Von Marlin's side, I need to see where he is at work. Where he is at.
He just popped out of South Figaro with just having gotten his Celeste.
Okay. And then at South Figaro, we found Gao.
Yep.
So it's interesting to see. So yeah, Can't Run Away flag is on, so he does need to be aware of that. I'm not
yeah,
sure
50% of the encounters are escapable.
Okay, so it is up to... Okay. Here comes the roulette. Hopefully it does not hit one of his party. Doesn't look like it did. I'm just so happy to see my boy Edward Gao just using his Shock, showing that he can be useful.
I mean, I feel like double slot Gao has kind of become a meme as part of our community, and I'm happy to see that that's not the case this week.
It really is. I kind of want to get a sprite of like Gao in each hand holding like a slot, like the slot symbol or something. But
I think that would be awesome.
Because I think that truly describes, like, I guess, like a really bad character. Like if you got a character who's like has no abilities or is just really bad abilities, I guess he's a double slot Gao. Just like another kind of term that I have coined is the Albrook effect. Basically where one seed in the Grand Prix, Magimaster is not who you want to see here though.
No, not at all.
But the Shock, he's got Fire Rods, and Shock should be, since it's not elemental, should be...
Shock does get through.
Yeah, and it pierces too, so you don't even have to worry about resistances. So he should be okay. The downside is that he has an extremely high physical defense, so attacking really doesn't normally do too much damage. Looks like Von Marlin is going to go up and do Owzer's Mansion. See what he finds up there. So we are seeing some deviation from Zelfer here.
Yeah, I can't really blame him. I typically like to check Owzer's Mansion before Opera House, even though there are fixed encounters. There's only 2, I believe, that you have to fight in the mansion, and then the boss fight.
And Von Marlin, actually, if you had somebody with Rage, actually finding the best Rage that you can find, in my opinion, one of the best Rages is the Magic Urns. Just because it makes Gao, or anybody who has Rage, basically a pretty decent healer.
Yeah, it's the best healing Rage, I believe, in the game. And we actually did just see Terra in the Opera House.
So Zelfer is now at a point where he has so many checks that he is bound to find one of the I guess we'll call them Dragon Keepers, or whatever you want to call it, the Dragon Lockers. I don't think that sounds as good. I think one time we called it a Dragon Hunter Seed because he started with the 3 people who unlocked the dragons. So maybe one of the Dragon Hunters, I guess is what we can call them.
That's a pretty good way of putting it.
But hopefully fairly soon he should find it, and then he's just going to be grinding and taking on those dragons. And with the experience 6 and how much XP those dragons give naturally, you should rocket them up pretty fast.
Oh, absolutely. I think if I were in Zelfer's shoes right now, that's all I'm looking for is one of those 3 characters, and then just run the dragons.
Oh yeah, I think that's all he probably would need to do.
He's coming back for the 30 or 60k.
I was gonna say, I think he forgot which one. It was just like, how much are you getting? Oh, still too much. But he might dip over into World of Ruin right now just to do it.
About to see what's in the mansion.
Taking a quick nap and save before he goes to fight the mansion check.
Doing a little camping in the mansion. You know.
Yeah, you know. That indoor camping, you know, that you do sometimes. So it's not a character.
We have Gollum. Gollum was the Esper off of The Man in the Woods.
So huge pickup right there. Now you're basically like, he's still just obviously looking for one of the Dragon Hunters. But he could care less about any other Espers he's found. He has his protection against calmness. Von Marlin facing a ghost train in the mansion.
It looks like he got the Ultima off that Paladin shield.
Yep, so he's going to be making pretty quick work now, too. It'll be interesting to see which kind of, if that Ultima is enough to help him catch up to Zelfer.
I don't know. That Ultima is definitely going to help him progress through the seed. As far as catching up, it's hard to do when you've got 4 experience eggs on the other characters.
Yeah. I do think the Ultima is probably going to keep him competitive time-wise amongst all the runners.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Starlet.
Starlet.
Not the best, not the worst.
Depends on its level up ability here. Strength +1's not bad.
Strength +1's not bad. And I mean, Starlet is, like, we are starting to see more and more, like Rafa said, it is healing, too. We are starting to see more and more people kind of use the different Esper actual summons for things we need them to, like a cure, like a heal. We've seen people use Siren for the silence ability for the Kefka's tower. We've seen a lot more people starting to use Odin for the instant kill for the tower as well. So we're starting to see more and more of that.
Well, and that's also, I mean, especially with this seed in particular, with not having any magic, we don't have any curative magic. Not a lot of, I mean, X potions are not the easiest things to find in shops, so having some sort of healing with Starlet will be nice.
And the really important thing, we did miss this earlier, multi-summon is on as well, so you can cast that Starlet over and over and over again as a consistent source of healing, too. So that is pretty big. That's effectively probably not as mana efficient as a cure, but to like what you were saying, it's a consistent source of healing now, though.
I do believe also that Terra has Bannon's ability health on her as well, so that was my main source of healing.
Okay. Health does cast okay, so that is a level 2, a cure 2, for no mana, so that is a good thing to have on her as well as a backup, or as kind of a primary healing as well. Von Marlin gonna take on a dragon here.
They're scaled, so it just kind of depends on the ability, whether or not they might be, or which dragon it is, on which abilities you're going to see, and how dangerous they may be.
Yep. Blue Dragon, it is probably one of the worst ones to run into. It's not the worst. I think the worst dragon to run into would be a Dirt Dragon. But you don't like seeing blue dragons either. But ultimately should make them fairly moot point.
Yeah, especially when Blue Dragon didn't get off many of their water AoEs. Yeah, he picked up Crusader. I did see that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a clean sweep or anything like that. Clean sweep is the really dangerous one to watch out from the Blue Dragon. Looks like Zelfer's going to go do the exact same thing and probably go take on that dragon up here. Let's see what that dragon gives. So one of the other great thing about the dragons too, outside of, so he gets a scimitar, and what else does he get? Genji armor, so solid.
We
do
have a character at Well. I do want to say that we do have a character at Well.
So then let's see what the Stooges drop for us then, or who the character that Stooges has. So we do also have, Von Marlin actually is going to go do Tri-Talk, so I don't think he knows that Umaru doesn't have anything at him. And so here we're seeing that Modler and Curly, since elemental progression is on, they cast a lot of spells that you don't expect them to cast, and can be very scary all of a sudden, especially if you run into those three at Kefka's Tower. They actually become very scary.
Ugh. Yeah, you're not only just worried about Delta hit, you're worried about their elemental abilities. Each one of them get better attacks as you move later into the season.
Yeah, you're talking Atomic Ray gets better. I mean, like here you're seeing Fire Ski. Yeah, they get scary. It's one of those bosses that you don't realize, like, ooh, elemental scaling makes you not somebody you like to see. Now, they are still weak to their normal things, but with not really much of magic going on in the seed, you don't have a way to stop. You don't have a way to silence consistently.
Von Marlin taking down Air Force at the Tri-Talk spot.
So let's see what Tri-Talk gives up. Looks like it's going to be an item. A red cap.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of wolf.
The helmets in this game in general are pretty wolf.
Yeah, we had talked about that last week on Friday as well, that with, I think I was Jack when I was with me, that, yeah, helmets really in this, there's only maybe one or two good helmets. Red cap is not bad because it does absorb fire, if I remember correctly.
And it increases your health by 50%.
Oh, okay, then it's not like the red jacket, I was wrong. But like Oath Veil is pretty good. I mean, they're not great, but there is a few that are at least okay, but yeah, you can ideally just skip a lot of helmets.
Alrighty, looks like Opera House for Von Marlin now. He's going to find that Magi Master. I hope he's able to get through it.
Yep, I don't think he has Gao in his party, because we saw that was how Zelfer really dealt with that. Zelfer is going to go take Fanatic's Tower. I guess he's going to go do that dragon that's up there and check to see if there is a character here. But he knows he'd have to get Strago to do it.
Yeah, there have been times when I'm like, I'll come up, do the dragon, and I'm like, oh, I'm already here. I'll go ahead and clear the tower. I'm only one floor, or one screen away from the top.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, I never recruited Strago. At least I got a good item from the chest at the top, but I didn't get the reward at the bottom.
Yeah, and at that point, it's like, was it worth going up that extra screen for that item? But the item is up the top there, is on the good table, so it normally is a solid item to get. Yeah, he doesn't need more, I'm sorry, you're right, but he doesn't need any more characters. But, well, no, he does, because he still needs to find either a Locke, he either needs to find Locke, oh, he got Scion. Okay, I missed that. So he found one of the Dragon Hunters.
Cyan was behind Welk. Okay. That was where Cyan was. Terra was at the Opera House.
Okay, so I missed the Welk. I missed Welk with Cyan. So he found his Dragon Hunter.
So yeah, he's probably just gonna try and mob through these dragons pretty quick and get their way into Kefka's Tower.
And we do see Von Marlin does have Gao in the party for his shock, so he should be fairly okay as long as Magic Master cooperates a little bit. Here we can see Zelfer making good use of the multicast on the Espers here as well, using, I believe that was Torado, quite a few times there.
Yep. Is that water magic? Does Torado do water magic?
I thought he was
Or is
Earth. It looks
Earth?
like he casts like a version of
Okay.
Quake. I think he does Earth.
Yes.
Still doing fairly solid damage there. Yeah, I don't think there is. Bismarck is the one that does water. Chat was saying that earlier.
The whale.
Yep. And we do know, like we said, we do know Zelfer does have Golem as well, so he's really got everything he needs Esper-wise. And down goes that red dragon.
Now here we go with Magimaster.
Yep, fingers crossed that Von Marlin's able to make quick and easy work out of this. Gets another red cap. And the auto crossbow, so not too much there for Zelfer. But yeah, he's not even going to go up to that chest. He's just getting out of here as fast as he can. Oh, but that's right, Zelfer, or Von Marlin has Ultima.
There we go.
So this is a moot point at right here.
Yeah, this will be fine.
Really just showing why Ultima is just a overpowered spell.
Now, one thing I'm curious to see if Von Marlin's going to do, we haven't seen Zelfer do, which seems to always be the common play when you get Terra, is head to the sealed gate. I'm curious to see if either of our runners are going to do that today.
I would not be surprised if Zelfer... I think Zelfer's trying to keep in mind that he is near the top of the standings and he wants to stay there. So it'll be interesting to see, like you said, if he does go for it, or if it's just like, hey, I'm pretty loaded right now. It's a few extra minutes that I really, or like a minute or two that I really don't want to add on, because he probably feels, hey, other people may have found the experience eggs as well. And so he knows the times for this seed are going to be pretty tight, but I don't know for sure. He said he was going to play conservatively. Okay.
If I was in his position, I mean, I might just pop down and do the Imperial camp just to clear out those treasures. There's so many right there, and then maybe skip the cave itself.
Yeah, there is quite, like you said, there is quite a few chests there. So that would be a pretty conservative play. He is coming up here. I think he's doing the Narsh Dragon now. Yeah, this is a World of Ruin. So this will put him at 3 dragons done, I believe. We'll get a clue here in a second, because it does tell us how many dragons are remaining. I would not be surprised if pretty soon he runs over and does the Opera Dragon, if he has not done that already.
That one is really the quickest one to get to, is it not?
No, it really is. Just run up, pull a lever, drop down. Although there has been times where I pulled the wrong lever, and I was like, womp womp.
See, there's one lever that I don't even know what it does, because I don't think I've ever pressed it.
Yeah.
I know one does a dog, the other one takes you to the dragon, and the other one is used in World of Balance.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what it's the second one from the left. Gets
Yeah,
a
I don't
Genji
know
armor.
what that one. Oh, that one might be the lights, where they turn the lights out.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's what it is. Alright, so I guess I was wrong. Zelfer only has 2 dragons at this point. So he has just done Fanatic's Tower and he has done Narsh. He's probably going to be headed over either to Mount Zozo or to Opera House right now. Let's find out.
Yeah, looks like Mount Zozo.
Yep. Probably need this and then straight on to Opera House to get that. That'll put him at 4 dragons. And then he'll probably just go do the 2 there in Kefka's Tower. Meanwhile, Von Marlin's on the right track. He is going to be getting his Cyan in a second.
So neither of our... I do know there was another path. Both of our racers tonight took the path that I took, so I'm not exactly sure. I know Locke is somewhere in this seat as well.
And to be fair, Mount Zozo is probably the quickest dragon, I think, to get to. Because otherwise you gotta go all the way through Phoenix Cave. Or you've got to go through a boss, Tentacles boss, just to get to Edgar's dragon. So this is probably the fastest option we can get, and we can see. So I'm trying to look and see all the sprites that we have. So we have young Rydia as Realm, and then we have adult Rydia as Terra?
Terra,
Okay.
yeah.
And then we looked like we had Cecil as Cyan, Kane as Mog, or Mog as Kane, Umaru as Yang, Gao as Edgar. I'm guessing Strago is Tella. That would make sense. I don't think we
that's
have
true.
I don't think we have a Palom and Porum sprite.
Edgar and Sabin, I believe, are Palom and Porum.
Edgar and Sabin are Palom and Porum. Okay. See, I didn't know if we had a. That's the other thing. The community has grown so much recently with getting like new sprites added in as well. That every time you go in there to see like, oh, what sprites do we have? There's always like a bunch of new ones to play around with. That would make sense for Edgar and Sabin to be. That would make sense as to why they made Gao
Edward
then. And it looks like Von Marlin's right on the same track as well. He's going to go do Mount Zozo to get that dragon.
Yeah, I'm curious if Zelfer's going to head straight over to he has the Opera House and then straight into the tower, or if he's going to head somewhere else and do something else.
Finds the old man, the spoony bard. So he'll probably. I'm actually surprised he even went up and did the check. I was kind of expecting him to just grab the dragon and then teleport out, but maybe he doesn't have any warp stones, so it's just quicker, but I don't know.
This is a good pickup. There is something about Strago that I didn't realize until I got into the tower, and it's mighty fine. He has natural magic.
Oh, does he have natural magic? Yeah, that's a pretty big one to pick up.
Who dat saying we should go check Burning House now?
Zelfer loves him some Burning House. He is a big component of Casa del Fuego, but I don't think we're gonna see it tonight. I actually had to mouse over that emote to see what it actually was, and thankfully it does say Burning House.
See, I like Burning House early in a seed. Especially early in a progression ×2 seed or something like that, where I can get some good levels and there's hopefully no bosses. Yep. I do like Burning Seed in that situation, or Burning House in that situation.
Nope. Did he? Oh yeah, that's what I was. Did he intentionally pull the wrong one? But he's gonna go face his dragon. Yeah, I don't mind it early on. I would much rather do it over Elvin's Rock because I have horrible rock with Elvin's Rock. So, Blowfish, but he's got so. You can just see how much work those eggs have been putting in. Where everybody already is at like 2,000 to 3,000 HP.
It's a nice safety net.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely call a few thousand HP a nice safety net, and he's got enough magic power on that Rydia that health is just doing so much. Yep, makes quick work of that dragon.
Done and done.
So that'll be dragon number 4 for him, so I expect him to, I'm sure he's got plenty of levels now to just go straight into the tower.
Oh, absolutely. The only thing I would think about is, how's his gear looking?
There's a dragon horn for Rosa, and he puts it on right away. So we are going to see Celeste jumping all over the place.
She's pretty darn good at it, too. Oh, so Zelfer is coming into World of Balance. Might be doing some shopping.
Yep, that kind of that last minute run through of things. Meanwhile, Von Marlin's going to be doing the same thing. So he has not done Fnatic's Tower Dragon. And he has not done He's done Narsh. I'm assuming he's done Mount Zozo. So he's not done the Fnatic's Tower Dragon and the Opera Dragon. Yep, just doing some shopping. It looks like he found, looks like the haste boots. I'm wondering if he's going to try to pick up some of those.
Those are probably one of my favorite, mid-tier relics. If I don't have Marvel shoes or something like that, I do like the running shoes. Those are decent.
Yeah. Don't be like me when my first times running this, where I bought sprint shoes, not really thinking that they were the haste boots. I was just like, oh wait, I can already run at maximum speed. Picking up elixirs, it looks like he must have found some good elixir prices.
Always valuable.
Oh yeah. I don't think we've seen any Mega Elixirs, so you definitely want an Elixir too, even just for the final Kefka.
Well, we downed Magi Master, so everyone should have a Mega Elixir.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he does guarantee a drop one. There's so many of these little things to try to remember, like when boss is like, oh, that's right, that Goddess guarantees a drop of Excalibur, and kind of those other ones, so.
Getting some fire rods as well. Nice.
Meanwhile, Von Marlin running up that next tower.
Yeah, and I know I mentioned it earlier in the race, but this is definitely the better choice, especially if you can find rods or super balls. Just come in here, take down this dragon instead of going down the rabbit hole of trying to find either Edgar or Locke to get that other dragon out.
Yep, and we do know, like you mentioned, Von Marlin has Ultima, so he is probably just going to be casting that every single turn. That's kind of going to be pretty much going to be Von Marlin's strategy here, is just Ultima your way through it.
Man, I wish I found that Paladin Shield.
Paladin Shield is one of those things that even if no Ultima is turned on, you're still like, I'm really glad I found this.
Oh, it's the best shield in the game.
Yeah.
Even without the Ultima, you've got so many elemental protection from that one shield.
Especially if they were purchasable like that, that's when you're really happy, because then you're like, now I can use Murton, and now I can do my healing and my damage at the exact same time. Murton strats are one of my favorite strats. They just make everything so trivial.
I have yet been able to pull it off, but I've seen it many a time, and one of these days I'll have enough red jackets and find the Murton spell to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, between red jackets or even just like Minervas and things like that, it does take some really like specific setup to do. But yeah, once you get it, you're just like, I'm gonna cast this one spell over and over again, and I don't need to worry about really anything.
We are heading into the tower on Zelfer's Spree.
Yeah, he is making great time here. He's just a little over an hour mark. Just shows you how fast this scene was, especially when you find those experience eggs. That really catapults you up.
I was watching somebody who I know is in the chat at least right now, who went in at 53 minutes, and I was like, wow, I've never seen anyone go in that quick.
Yeah, it takes a very... I mean, this seed was really kind of lucky in that the requirements to get into go mode were fairly low. The dragons, 3 of them are automatically available right away, and then you just need to find that one character. And the experience X are just putting in so much work here. Meanwhile, Von Marlin finds the Ultros fight at the top of the tower, but again, he has Ultima, he's fine.
And he's got Strago, so we'll be able to see what this is.
Yeah. He does have 2 Ultima users now as well, so he's passed around that Paladin Shield, so he's kind of in cruise control right now as well. There's not going to be too much that's going to cause him. So you can still ask yourself, yes, so the Kefka's Tower check, the Dragon's check is only before you would go in to start facing the Warring Triad, is when it basically checks to see, do you have 6 dragons? No, you can technically go into the tower at any time. You could go into the tower all the way up to, for this flag set, you could have gone in at any time. You could have done those 2 Kefka's Tower dragons first, and then gone out into the world and found your remaining 4. It's just when you get to the spot where normally you would face Guardian, that door right there will say, like, you need this many number of dragons to enter, and it won't let you go further. Not to answer Crack Troop's question there.
Oh yeah, well, and as long as basically, if you still need 1 or 2 dragons, you can pop into Kefka's Tower. There are 2 dragons in Kefka's Tower that will count towards that requirement.
Yep, and that's what we're seeing Zelfer doing here. He's going to take on the 2 dragons that are actually living in the tower to meet his requirement to go on. I've always kind of wondered, are those dragons like Kefka's pets now or something, or did they just randomly decide, hey, let's jump in this tower and live here?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Everything is super hectic at the end of World of Balance in the vanilla game that I would be surprised if Kefka won over 2 dragons to live in his tower with him.
Kick those 2 dragons out and be like, look, this is my house now. You're allowed to live in here if you want, but you gotta pay some of the rent.
Yeah, I don't think so. Kefka's got the statues on his side.
Yeah, he's got quite the menagerie going up there. He's got the Warring Triad hanging out with him. He's got 2 dragons hanging out with him.
Guardian.
Yeah, he's got everybody. He's got his own little party up there. And number 128 or Inferno's up here as well. I mean, I always forget
Did
what his
Von
name is.
Marlin pick up? Does he have any columnist protection yet?
No, he has not gotten Golem yet, I don't think, because we saw Golem was at Man in the Woods, which I don't think he's done.
It's a hefty price, but man, is it worth it.
Yes, yeah. So Chardnook is the first fight. So one of the things we do change in this randomizer is there is a flag that makes Chardnook stay in the Chardnook phase for longer. Meanwhile, Von Marlin finds a goddess. He should have no problem with it because he's just going to shock an ultimate, but it is there. But like I was saying, we do have a flag in there where basically Chardnook will stay in its demon phase for a lot longer, so you don't get trolled with it being, because it is normally on a random timer, so you don't get trolled with it switching back and forth every couple seconds.
Well, and the main reason for that is that you cannot kill Chardnook in its angel phase. Oh yeah, Edgar taking a nap over on Von Marlin's screen.
Yep, he took a quick dirt nap, but now we're just seeing everybody cast Ultima all over. I think he's got 3 people who can now cast Ultima. So I don't know if he picked up 3 shields or you leave Gao alone, boo.
Right, that was Edward, not Edgar. My apologies.
Yeah, Edward as Gao. He's doing the best he can. Meanwhile, Zelfer makes
He's a useful piece of the party this week too.
Yeah, he's got Shock. Shock is really good. Shock is even better if you can get somebody who has like a high magic stat and then like a magic power +2 Esper.
And throw some earrings on him.
Yeah, then he's just basically an Ultima, like 1.5 Ultima. It's not full powered Ultima, but it's just about there. It's Ultima Light, I guess we'll call it.
Now, what was that goddess reward? I missed it.
I did not see it either. There is our first Dirt Dragon of the night. Dirt Dragons scare me. They have this nasty habit of just casting Quake out of nowhere. Raiden, okay, they're saying Raiden was the...
Raiden, okay. It's useful. It does, I'm pretty sure, the exact same thing as Odin does in the final battles, and will kill tools and the long arm.
Yep, it is one of the insta-kill Espers. Multicast Espers on, so you can basically do that in phase 1 to kill the long arm in front. You can do it in phase 2 to kill the tools. Looks like Genji Glove. I think that's what he picked up from the dragon. Or is that Genji armor?
I believe it is a Genji Glove.
It's a pretty solid pickup there, although I think at this point, Genji Glove isn't that useful, but...
Well, we never really came across many really high-tier weapons. I haven't seen an Illumina. I think there was a Ragnarok somewhere.
Yeah, for it being, like, no Esper spells, like, the seed is oddly very magic-focused. As far as, like, your team goes. At least we know Von Marlin's is. I think Zelfer's been kind of doing a lot of shock work as well, but...
Von Marlin's about to pick up his Golem.
Yep, so that'll be good. So he'll have that protection. White Dragon here getting a Pearl off, but should not be any worries. Looks like Rosa's just going to be using health. I'd expect for Von Marlin to go be doing the rest of his dragons right now. He needs one more dragon. I think he's going to go do... Yep, he's going to go do his Opera Dragon, and I assume dive into Kefka's Tower as well.
It's a nice one to leave for the end, because it is just so quick to pop in and take care of.
Yep, it's right there, no muss, no fuss. And there goes his Zelfer's last dragon, so he has his 6 dragons done, so he is officially in go mode now. Von Marlin should make quick work of this dragon as well. I'm not too worried about him. But there we do see, once you finish up for this flight, the 6 dragons, it does say the dragon seal has been broken. So now you can come to this spot and actually get through. Otherwise, you'd not be able to.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get through with party number 1 through the door into the next set of switches.
Yep. I believe this is also where it checks espers as well. So if you have a character and esper requirement, I do believe that's also where it does the character esper check, I think.
See, I believe the character esper check is actually on the ship as you try and get into Kefka's tower.
Okay, they are saying, yep, that is what I was saying. That's my bad. Yeah, it's been so long because you just normally never go to Kefka's tower unless you have everything. Except for like in Dragon, so I could not remember where it was.
It's all good.
Yeah, because that, I guess, does stop you from going in and getting some of the chests that are in here that are kind of higher tier chests. They are a little bit, they pull from the higher item pool, so. Got that dragon horn for Von Marlin, so looks like he is going to do the exact same thing as well. Let's give Rosa the dragon horn.
It immediately goes on her, especially with anyone who has that comes with jump, and you don't have to use both relic slots to make the Dragoon. It's always the better choice.
Exactly. You give them a little bit more. You can give them like an Atlas armor, something like that, to give them more damage to it. Von Marlin's probably doing some last-minute shopping as well before he dives in. We see Leader at the Guardian spot. Leader, this is not where you parked your car, buddy. You're in the wrong neighborhood.
You're not going to do a good job of guarding much.
Nope.
No, Von Marlin looks like they're going to pick up some more Paladin shields.
He wants that entire party decked out. He's like, we're getting everybody set up with a Paladin shield. He's going to be like...
Not a bad idea if you have the money.
Yeah, if you got the Oprah, you get a Paladin shield. You get a Paladin shield. Everybody's getting Paladin shields.
About to see what the spicy chicken boss is going to be.
An Ultros,
no
an
problem.
Octopus.
Ultros 4.
Is it 4?
Yeah, it's 4.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Because 1 was submerged. Yep, because there's the Chupon. This is one of those things I really wish like it was more easy to tell without having to use like the subtle hints. Like, name it like Ultros 1, Ultros 2, Ultros 3, Ultros 4.
Be a good suggestion for our wonderful developer, Atmatech.
I don't know if that's something that can be changed.
Probably not, actually. But I'm not a developer. I have no idea how any of that stuff works.
I'm not either, but I would not be surprised if it's pretty hard coded into the actual like ROM. Yep, we've got at least one. I think we got 2 Ultros encounters this time, maybe more. But it makes quick work of the octopus. No worries there. Yeah, when we used to do the bingo, there was that where you get like a bingo sheet that had like Ultros 3 and Ultros 4 in different spots, and you had to be like, oh god, what Ultros is this?
Which one's which?
Yeah. Like I said, Final Fantasy V did it right. They literally named Gilgamesh 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Both of our runners have both really good times heading into the tower.
Yeah,
both sub
hour
20.
120. Looks like Zelfer just making his way through. I don't expect him to have any trouble with any of these Guardians.
No, so far, I mean, we've seen the Leader and an Ultros that's half of them done. Oh, but we do have Guardian up here.
That could be a bit tricky. I mean, Guardian can put out some damage, but with how many, I'm sure he's probably in his mid-50s level-wise for Zelfer.
He's just throwing money at the problem.
I mean, that's the way a lot of life's problems get solved that way, is you just throw money at it.
Now, the big issue with Guardian is letting the fight go too long, but he's putting out so much damage with these Bolt 2s that I think he's going to be just fine.
It's probably, if he even gets the Ultros program, I'd be surprised. So just looking down kind of at some of our top runners' times. Zelfer, again, is on pretty good pace. It's going to be tight for him to get first place. But he does have a pretty good time coming in to be very competitive. It looks like
I think really he's just looking to stay in the top 5, finish in the top 5, and that should hold him there in his top 4 spot.
To be top 5, he's gonna have to make pretty quick work of Kefka's tower, or of Kefka. Because the times are all very competitive here.
There we go, Guardian down. Only one boss left.
Yeah, so it looks like to be top 5. I'm trying to see what time he needs to beat. He needs to be sub 140, I believe.
He's got 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I think he'll be actually sub 155, it looks like. So he's still got time.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I was happy to be in the top 5 for a short amount of time this week. I was very happy about that.
So, my only chance of being top 5 would be the first one to get their race seat done. Be like, booyah, look at that, top 5, number 1. And then as slowly other people comes in, my time drops lower and lower. But, you know, you take it where you can get it.
That's same for me. I was top 5. I no longer am, but I was. Ooh, dodge that Hone Tusk. That's nice.
Yeah, this is why I don't like Dirt Dragon. He used Hone Tusk, he uses Quake. Both things that wipe parties quick.
Now, Float works for Quake. Does it also work for Hone Tusk? Does it dodge Hone Tusk?
I don't believe it dodges Hone Tusk. I believe Hone Tusk might be just a physical attack. But I'm sure chat will correct me if I'm wrong in a couple seconds. Meanwhile, we got Senor Behemoth on the other side. And again, look at the damage that Celeste is putting out with those jumps.
15,000 a turn.
Did we not have a sprite for Celeste? Why is Celeste just Celeste? Or no, she's Rosa,
Nope,
I'm sorry.
that's different, yeah.
Celeste and Rosa look very oddly familiar, like very oddly the same. Yeah, it just took me for a second. I was like, wait, I do know in Free Enterprise there is a blonde. Oh, that's right, it's Rosa.
So Zelfer actually found out the thing that I found out right about this time is that while Strago does have natural magic, he also naturally learns Ultima. I didn't have Paladin Shield, so that was a nice surprise for me.
Yeah. Strago is Zelfer.
Yeah, I think Von Marlin changed Strago's name to Zelfer.
Yep, he's named everybody, I think. Von Marlin's still having a very competitive time as well. I mean, he's not gonna be top 5, but oh, he could be. Unless he has something now. He has a little bit more of a dangerous route just because he does not have the levels that Zelfer does. But unless something goes really, really wrong, I think he's gonna have a fairly competitive time here.
Yeah, these bosses here in the tower aren't too bad. Guardian's probably the most dangerous one, but as long as you get him down before he really starts get going, you'll be fine. And I think he'll be able to get through the tower bosses just fine.
And I'm gonna try to switch us over to some tower music and not fail as I do this. Fingers crossed. Please don't let me goof up the stream. Oh, well, it looks like for some reason Zelfer's is choppy. Okay. Back to Von Marlin's audio. He'll get to Kefka soon enough, then we get to hear the music.
No, Hudet, we must not have OBS encountering an error right now.
It's not an OBS thing, it's something to go with a VLC media, where whenever I restream people, for some reason, some people's audio works just fine, some people's don't. I have yet to figure out why. Yeah, Charlotte Kitty knows the error kind of what I'm talking about. I've kind of talked to her about, hey, does this happen to you? And it's funny because like last week, Zelfer's worked just fine for me, and tonight he does not. Making quick work of that stage 1. I don't know if he has. Let's see how much damage Gal's Shock is putting out. I'm interested to see. Only about 2,000.
Terra has almost 6,000 health.
Yeah, she is a brick house.
You're almost at the point where you can use an Atmo weapon.
He is going to cast Break on the arm, but it misses, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a second miss on that instant kill on the long arm.
Where you're like, oh, I've got this, and this will take care of this. Womp, womp, womp. Just keeps missing for you. But yeah, he should... Realistically, he's just trying to make it so that that arm in the back dies last. He does not want to have to deal with, like, Quake or anything like that coming out. Not that I think it really concerns him too much here.
No, but better safe than sorry as you roll into the second phase.
Hey, he gets it this time. Alright, and there's that crazy jump damage coming through. Everybody's putting in their guesses for Zelfer's time. I'm seeing 137s, 133s, sub 140s. Yeah, I think stage 2 does tend to be what slows people down the most, I've noticed. If you can get through phase 2 with a good time, phase 3 normally goes fairly quickly. Honestly, I think Kefka, once you get to Kefka, if you're in any kind of decent spot, that phase goes really quickly.
Yeah, phase 2 can go really slow. I feel, especially when magic isn't muted, because they'll throw haste 2 out and give everyone haste and do all sorts of different magic spells that take quite a bit of time.
Yeah, phase 2 is definitely, I think, the biggest time sink. Yeah, Fraggle, phase 3 has 2 speeds, quick or dead. Yeah, exactly. Either you get it down extremely fast, or Sleep in the front just decides, I'm going to start casting meteors all over the place. But these ultimas are going to
flashbacks to running this team.
Yeah. I know a few weeks ago I was running on stream, I had the same thing where phase 3 is just like, it's a meteor kind of night, and he just, without impunity, started throwing those things out.
And doing some good damage, though. He should be able to make some quick work of this phase 2.
Yep, yeah, I have no feel. Flare Star.
Ooh, Flare Star.
I can do some damage.
Single target.
That Tell's gonna go down. I do always have terrible phase 3s, Fraggle. Thank you for acknowledging what I feel is, like, very well known. Like, I have some of the worst phase 3s. Should be fine here. He actually has, does he have, okay. Rosa's up in the air. I was like, he's only got 3 characters, or 2 characters up. What happened? But Rosa's doing Dragoon things.
Death from above.
Yeah. There's 5,000. Only 11,000 this time. And a Pearled Proc. Okay.
Oh, that's nothing.
Jeez. Can you only get 1 proc if you get multiple jumps, or can you get multiple procs, I wonder?
I think it only procs off of the final
The last
hit.
one, okay. Could you imagine, though, if you got like 3 jumps and 3 procs?
Oh, that would be broken.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it would be pretty insane. That would almost make the Dragoon setup like too powerful. Now, granted, you do have to have like a Pearl Lance and jump and the horn, but yeah, that would be just too much.
All right, it looks like we've had a couple of phase 2 die here.
Yeah, Tella just keeps taking dirt naps. That's another, like, I'm pretty sure this game has some weird logic where it can tell as soon as you Phoenix down somebody, it's like, that person is the person I'm attacking now. Because it seems like every time I'll Phoenix down someone, and then a spell immediately gets cast on that person.
Well, and he didn't have Tella with him as part of his party at all throughout the game. I think it was only in Kefka's tower. He's like, oh, he's got Ultima. Let's throw him in.
Yep, I think you're right. I think he just kind of leveled him off of the dragons. So he's probably not ideally where he'd like to be. And see, Tella gets pearled again. The game knows when you've brought somebody out. It's like, oh, you really want this person alive. I'm going to do everything in my power to make that not so.
And Tella was down over on Von Marlin's screen as well.
Tella's just taking dirt naps all over the place.
He needs to sleep. right.
Yeah, he's an old man. We do see Von Marlin making quick work of the tower, though, too. He's working on his triad fights.
I mean, yeah, especially for someone who hasn't had experience eggs on the whole seed, doing really well.
I think really what's carried him through is he now has 3 people, like his entire party has Paladin shields with Ultima. So he is on that Ultima wagon. And there's that golem,
It's a good wagon to be on.
It really is. It's probably the best wagon to be on. Ooh, you're changing your guess to 135. It's getting close.
Kind of depends on how this phase 3 ends up going for him.
Alright,
Ultima and Guardian, that should be quick, and there goes Zelfer on to phase 3.
Does he have Gem Box on Rydia?
Yes, I have seen X Magic on Rydia.
Double Ultimas all the way.
It can be hectic here on this final tower fight if you don't kill certain things in certain orders, but he's behind that now.
It has the same problem as like offerings do, where it's like I really don't want to kill this person first. But on to phase 3 for Zelfer. This is probably going to go extremely quickly, but that wind really did some damage to Edward and Tella there.
Yeah, that's something I don't like to see. That's about an equivalent to a fallen one, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's got quite a high power to it. Rydia, hopefully she's able to get this Guardian down pretty soon. She should be. I mean, unless this Ultra is okay. Ultra's not hitting for too much. She must have ran out of mana though, because now she's using Bolt 2s. Here's hoping she gets it down quick.
I think she's alright. He opened with Ultima. Now they're on to Bolt 2s. Looks like they're gonna. Yep, Elixir up. Probably use a double Ultima here. That should probably do it for Guardian.
Meanwhile, Girl is down, so now we're just on sleep, and Rydia got a 4 jump off. Here comes the first Meteo. Let's see how crazy he decides to go. And down goes Tella. But like you said, he wasn't as high a level as everybody else.
Yeah, I think Tella really served his purpose, getting through these first 3 phases. Once you get on to final Kefka, I mean, every
video though, this gal might be going down. Oh, but it misses. Wow, what a time for a miss.
That's good stuff right there.
Von Marlin gets his statue done, gets his Guardian down. And I think he just muted the Rydia, and she's got a Condemn off, so he's kind of racing to get this down, but he should be fine. I think he's got Golem up. There's another Meteo. See, this is what happens to me. He just starts going crazy.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I actually had one player in my party alive at the end of this phase, and went on to final Kefka with one of my original 4 characters.
This Rydia's gonna die though, unless he kills this phase right here.
He might not have enough time to get her back up.
The Discord, or someone might be able to actually post it here in the chat right now. How wow, beats the Condemn clock. That is impressive. I believe somebody should be able to link the seed in here. If not, going into the Discord, I know for sure we can get it. Let me post up the Discord right now. But there's ways I'm sure we can work on getting you this seed if you want to try it out. I do believe they've been posting all of the seeds in the Discord for like all the different weeks, but
they're all saved.
And here's the final Kefka fight. Should make
he got Rydia through, which is great.
Yeah, that I cannot believe he beat that Condemn. There's Ravlin Bay for posting the seed. Thank you for that, Ravlin.
Thank you, Ravlin.
Meanwhile, we got Russ over here working to get down the Senior Behemoth.
Something tells me
I'm sorry.
We're not going to see a goner, I don't think.
I don't think we're going to see a goner either.
We'll see the charge up, but I don't think we'll actually see it get off.
Yeah, not with Rose and everybody putting out that kind of damage. It's gonna use fire rods, yeah, just for the amount of damage that's gonna put out. There's a hyperdrive though.
Oof.
Puts her into a dirt nap, but I think at this point you just keep going on. You're like, no, we're...
Yeah, I think he's still fine if he doesn't even try and recover here.
Yeah, I would not even try to get her up. I actually is gonna try to get her up.
She is the main healer, I imagine. Yeah, this should.
One, but here comes the Goner. He's just gonna use the Mega Elixir to get Rydia up, and just kind of top everybody else off. This might do. I don't think this is. Maybe it'll be close. Oh, double Ultima, almost max damage. It's close.
When he's already in Goner and doing hyperdrives, this might do it. Nope, maybe the fire rod. There we go.
There it is.
GG Zelfer.
Yep, with an official race time of 1:35.39. So whoever said in the chat it was a 1:35 was right on the money.
Boo called it.
Yeah, Boo called it with a 1:35. And Von Marlin is not going to be too far behind him. He is making quick work of the tower as well.
Yep, going into his final fight. Which I imagine we're just going to see a whole lot of ultimates.
Yep, I imagine that as well. And we're going to see if we can get Zelfer in here for an interview if he's up for it tonight. Meanwhile, like you said, we do have Von Marlin probably going to be on the Ultima train. Just Ultima. I think he bought enough elixirs to do it as much times too. And we are joined by Zelfer. Zelfer, GG's yet again tonight, buddy.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Staying competitive with the time as well. I do believe you made top 5 as well tonight. And I was told by some of the people in chat that you were trying to be a little bit conservative with playing tonight to make sure you kind of stay in that running for the top 4.
Yeah, I definitely made sure I took a few measures to make sure I wasn't gonna get stuck at Final Kefka and just like wipe continuously, which would be completely disastrous. Yeah, I definitely took a couple steps just to make sure it didn't happen, but it turned out pretty nice. So I'm like 100% happy with this.
Yeah, I do know Radio Guy was kind of said that you found something at Coliseum that he found that I think really kind of made this seed kind of a cakewalk for you.
Oh, I was so happy when I found it. When I was doing the Coliseum during that, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I'm being restreamed and I'm not getting anything again. This is a poor showing for the Coliseum, and then I found the thing, and then everything was great afterwards.
Then you found the golden egg that just carried you through the seed.
Absolutely, and I was just like, yes, this is the magic thing that was even more than I was hoping to find. I will take it.
Oh yeah, I mean, oops, sorry.
No, you're good. Tonics were definitely the winner of the seed, in my opinion.
Absolutely, I've never been so happy to have tonics before in my life.
Yeah, because we noticed that, like, Von Marlin did also go to Coliseum as well, but he did not have, I don't know if he had tonics but didn't use them, or just didn't have tonics, but he never found the Experience X. However, he did find Paladin shields at Miranda, and he bought, like, one of them, and Ultima was on, so he is kind of on the Ultima strategy here. So his entire party has Paladin shields. So that was the other route you could have taken to really get high-powered stuff out of this seed.
Oh, I was looking for Paladin shields too, but I didn't find them this time. If I had found Paladin shields, you probably would have seen me get more experience eggs just to sell.
Yeah.
So I could do.
I don't think they were that expensive either, but yeah, I mean, really, Von Marlin's going to get hit by this quake. But it looks like he got through it, so that's good for phase 1. But yeah, the Paladin shields, Miranda's not a place too commonly, I think, that a lot of runners check. So I can't blame you for not finding them.
Oh yeah, Miranda's, it's on my list of places to go to if I'm really desperate for some reason.
Yeah.
And yeah, I found my rods, I found earrings. I was like, I'm not really desperate. I'm not going anywhere besides my normal route this time.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those out of the way places, and there's not enough like Radio Guy had mentioned earlier. There's not an item shop there, and there's not a relic shop there. So it's like, okay, is there much reason to go there if those two shops really aren't there either?
Yeah, it's just weapons and armor if you're looking for them, and 2 chests. So at least even if there's nothing in the shops, you get 2 random items. So maybe, I don't know. Makes you feel a little better, I guess.
Yeah. So how'd you feel about the seed overall?
When I saw the flags, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a nightmare. But this, well, I mean, I guess I kind of have the rose-colored glasses on because I had the experience eggs. Everything just kind of fell into place really easily. Magic Master looked like it could have been mean if you weren't properly prepared for him. But luckily I was okay there. But other than that, it wasn't too well, except for the fact that every time I had a fire rod and I wanted to use it, it was not the play.
Yeah.
Buying fire rods in Narsh and then going up and finding Flame Eater is never a fun experience.
Oh no, I'm just sitting there like, yep, here we go. I have fire rods against Flame Eater. I'm like, I'm gonna have to change here. And then I went to Fanatic's Tower to fight the dragon. I'm like, alright, I don't have magic, so I'm just gonna burn fire rods. 1 in 8 chances red med dragon, I'm probably fine. I was not fine.
Yeah.
Of course, it was Red Dragon.
It was the red dragon. I'm like, oh no, you gotta be kidding me.
But for the Flame Eater check, though, you did have Umaru that had the orb. So that kind of made pretty quick work of the bomblets and everything that came out. Because you got, like, 2 storms right in a row. And it's like, yep, that's exactly what you want to see from Umaru right here.
Oh, I've never... When I saw the Blizzard Orb, too, I'm like, oh, do I buy this for Umaru? I was like, yeah, it might come in handy. Blizzard Orb is probably going to hurt more than anything else in the beginning. So, yeah, sure, I'll get it for the beginning. Why not? No idea that it was going to, like... come in super, super handy and clutch and everything. But yeah, I'm really glad I got it.
Yep, yeah, I was gonna say he had the Rage Ring going and he had the orb, so he was about as powered up as he was gonna get, basically.
Yes, Umaru had a good showing this seed. That was I make fun of him a lot. I'm not gonna lie, but he had a good showing this seed, and I was happy to see it.
Yeah, it's nice that every once in a while they get their limelight. I'm happy because my boy Gao got shown off in both of yours and Von Marlin's teams because he had that shock ability, so I'm happy with that. So it's one of the few times that Gao gets used is when he has shock or when he surprisingly has like a good ability, but so I'm happy.
Yep, Gao had a good showing. Umaru had a pretty good showing. Mog was a little bit lacking this time, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Everybody can't have their time.
Mog got replaced by the True Dragoon, who turned out to be Celeste, basically.
Yes, he did. I was so... Oh, man. That worked out really good, too.
Yeah, sadly, Celeste was just like, Mog, let me show you how a Dragoon really does this. Hand me your spear.
Yep. And you had that one spear, too.
Yeah.
And it worked out really good.
You had the Pearl Lance, you had the Dragoon Horn, and we watched your Celeste put out, like, 5,500 damage a jump. So, yeah, she was putting in work.
Oh, yeah. Everything just came together really nicely.
Yep, it really did. Yeah, you had a great run. So it looks like chat was saying that you finished between Jack and Future. So Jack does gain a point towards the race for 4th, but I think you're still pretty solidly in there, if I remember the standings correctly.
Yeah, if I'm in top 5, I'm in a pretty good spot then.
Yeah, I think it's still a pretty tight race at the top though. It's all going to come down to week 8.
Wow, look at that. Oh, it's got to stay close to the end. Got to keep the show going.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of what makes it really fun, too. Like, if this was just kind of a blowout where it's like there was such a vast disparity between the top 4 and, like, the rest, and you're like, well, we already know who it's going to be. But when it's, like, neck to neck like this through all 8 weeks, that's when it really gets interesting.
Exactly. Then everybody watching is like, oh, what's going to happen this time? Oh, what's going to happen this time? You got to watch every race. Got to see how everyone's doing.
Exactly. You're constantly like, okay, you're practicing as much as you can because you're like, I need to have a good seed on this. But Marlon going up to phase 3 does have some low HP, so I'm hoping he can get some healing in. And hopefully...
Hope the Merton doesn't take him out.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get a quick Meteo. So fingers crossed for Von Marlin. But Zelfer, anything else you wanted to bring up while we had you on tonight?
No. We brought up a lot of things. I think pretty good. Just thank you to Atma for the randomizer. thank you guys for the restream. It's been a blast.
Yep, and we will look forward to seeing you hopefully on stream either next week, so we can finally kind of see where everybody finishes out. Because I do think after tomorrow, or after next week, next Friday's show, we'll have a pretty good idea. Because I think most of the runners who we're looking for to see the top 4 normally get their seeds in pretty quick. So we'll definitely probably by next Friday know kind of where things are going to be going into the top 4 playoffs. Yeah. By Friday we should we have a really good idea of what exactly is going to happen. All right. Well, thank you again, Zell, for so much for joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. You too. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Happy to have you.
All right. So now we've got Von Marlin on phase 3. So it looks like he's recovered, Radio. So that's good to see.
Yep, Girl's already down. He's just trying to take out Sleep now.
Make sure he has Golem up. I hope he remembers to cast Golem.
Yep, he already got that up as well.
Right.
So he's ready for the columnist.
So now we're just close eyes, hit Ultima, basically, and hit jump. There's the calmness. Okay, here it is. The best music in the game, and I think some of the best Final... I'll go out and say the best Final Fantasy music.
I am impartial towards this game, so I will agree.
It's such a good song. Even some of like the remixes I've seen of it, or like the covers I've seen of it, are just so good. Let me fix that so we're not seeing double. There, okay. So I'm really hoping I don't turn black the wrong screen. Okay.
Nope, you're good.
Because they have them like swapped on there, so like runner 1 is Von Marlin on the other side, where normally he's number 2, because I just switched him up today. I was like, oh, boop. Alright. He should make quick work of this too. He is going to be double casting Ultimas. He has plenty of MP. So I expect another no goner.
Yeah, the only thing that I worry about just in this seed in general with the lack of healing is seeing Terra go down, depending on if anyone else has any sort of healing capabilities.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, a barely unlucky Havoc Wing, if it comes out, I don't think we're going to get to that spot. But a bad Havoc Wing could really cause an issue. We are going to see the Goner, or the Goner coming up. There, I always forget what that's called, where he drops you to 1 HP. Fallen one. Yeah. And thankfully, though, Rosa dodges it because she was in the air, and then he has got that Mega Elixir, and he gets the Pearl Trigger off.
That's the other nice thing about Dragoons is you can dodge both Fallen One and the Goner if you time it right.
That's not good to see, though. Because I think that was the person who was going to be using his Mega Elixir as well. It is, so this could get scary really quick. He's going to get Rosa up in the air, but he needs either Riddy or Edward to cast that. They're just going to cast health. They're not using Mega Elixir.
They might have just lost their only one.
That would be such a bad spot. Here's where you're hoping that... oh, he's just going to try to push through the damage, I think.
I'm not sure if he has enough.
I don't think so either. Rosa might have enough health to live through it, though.
These Ultimas are doing quite a bit of damage, so the second one might do it, but I don't think... Oh, out of MP!
And there's the Goner. But Rosa's in the air.
But what do you do if if
this doesn't kill, you're in an awkward spot. Okay, they both live. That is
yeah, you
huge.
kind of got to power through at this point.
Alright, this probably is going to be doing enough. And there it is,
Yeah,
GG's. With an official race time of 1:48:29. GG's to Von Marlin. Unfortunately, he is not going to be able to come in for an interview tonight, but everybody, give him your GG's. It was a great race tonight. Two really, really close runners, not even too far apart from each other either. So let me go ahead and get that official time put up here, and you can see it. And we'll do a quick closeout and recap of everything and see where we stand. And I'm going to see if I can get the official standings as of last week's pulled up. And then we can kind of go over that real quick.
I was really happy to see that this ended up being closer because I mean those experience eggs, at least for my run, they really helped me out. I ended up getting a personal best because of those, and to see Von Marlin really still keep it competitive within 15 minutes of Zelfer, that is a really good run, especially when I know they weren't the happiest about these flag sets.
Yes, I do know there's a lot of people who are a little bit discontent with these, um, but that's kind of one of the things that comes with doing a race like this. Is sometimes you gotta just kind of suck it up and deal with it. Um,
Oh,
so
we're looking at the
looking at the
split
total
card.
points, now this does not take in week 7 into account, obviously. So in first place, we do still have Zelfer at 220 points, but tied with him, also at 220 points, is Boo. And
Still tied. Awesome.
yeah, they are tied at 220 points. And then in third place, we have Drew with 203. So there is a little bit of wiggle room there. And then in fourth place is a runner who we have not actually had on the stream yet. So his first debut would be in the top 4 if he makes it. There's Loco Live, who is up there as well. He is at 196. Here's where it gets really tight. At 195, we have Future Force. So he is a point behind the fourth place person. And then we have Jacquemus Wedge sitting at 190. So only 5 points behind. Really, 7 points would put him into top 4. So you can clearly see we have quite a neck-to-neck race going into this last week.
Well, and it kind of goes to show because I know Jack had one really rough week where he was outside of the top 10, but he's just been clawing his way back up in there, and it's really putting forth a good showing to possibly be in the top 4.
Yep. So I am really excited for next week. So next week will be the final week of the standard season, as we're going to call it, for the Grand Prix. Once we've got officially our top 4 decided, we will go on to the playoff stage. And basically, the way the playoff stage is going to work is each week we will have the 4 runners. I'll have to figure out if we're going to be doing it on Wednesday or Friday. But each of the 4 runners will go in, and then the person who finishes last will be out. And then next week we'll go in with 3 runners, and we're going to do that until we have our victor, who will be the official Kefka Grand Prix champion. So look forward to that. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, Radio. Do you have any last words before we get out of here?
No, this has actually been my first time doing a commentary. Had a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing it more in the future.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun having you on here. You're free to join me anytime on Fridays for doing this. Again, as always, thank you to Atmatech for designing this randomizer. Such a great developer for us. Gives us a plethora of things that we could ever have asked for. Thank you for Randomania for always hosting our races. We always have a lot of fun being on here. Do turn in. We've got the free enterprise race. I believe that is coming up tonight for their Friday night community race at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. On Sunday, we have the first community race for Chrono Trigger Jets of Time. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in Chrono Trigger. There are so many randomizers on Randomania. You can turn this channel on any night of the week and probably find something amazing to watch. But again, my name's Classy Badger. With me tonight was Radio Guy. Again, thank you to our tracker, Ceiling Cat. She did an awesome job tonight. And to our runners, Zelfer and Von Marlin. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and have a great rest of your night.
Good night.